Hey, what's up? I'm here with a new test that'll check your wits and survival skills. But I should warn you, you'll need to do your best to avoid all the traps. Good luck!
Hi dear learners, this is Hammida. Welcome back to our reading and writing class. Why is it important to be a critical reader? Does it mean that when you read a lot of books or any reading materials, that you can be called a critical reader? Our topic today is the overview of what critical reading is, as it is needed for our future topics. Thank you. We talk about how a text is interconnected to another text under the intertext and hypertext lessons. And evaluating different texts based from the context is critical. Our lesson's objectives are the following.
At the end of this lesson, you will have to explain the importance of critical reading, the difference between critical reading and reading, what different strategies to critical reading there are in this world, and if you ever receive a suspicious email or text, how did you react to it? Did you believe it in an instant, or did you think that it was too good to be true?
This kind of information is at least how good you are in evaluating whether it is true or not. Do you agree or disagree with the author when you read? Are you an active reader? As a reader, you are not a passive participant, but an active constructor of meaning, the meaning of it. You might say I'm a bookworm. I read a lot. Definitely, I consider myself a critical reader. Very important, you see, the information drive about the different kinds of vaccine is critical to the people. Critical may also mean very serious. You see, the flooding situation in some areas has reached a critical point, or if a patient in a hospital is in critical condition, then things are not looking good for that person.
An example would be my grandfather is in critical condition at the moment. Now, there are several useful meanings to the word critical. And should you be a movie critic, then how you analyze, interpret, and evaluate the scenario is critical reading. For critical reading is when we, the readers, use our mind to question the inner workings of the text or any scenario in general.
So, let's dig deeper and differentiate the difference between reading or the plain reading and critical reading. Look at their differences. The purpose of plain reading is to get the basic grasp of the text, while critical reading is how you form judgments about how a text works in plain reading. You are only, in plain reading, you are only absorbing or trying to understand the text.
Hi everyone. It's like reading a novel evaluative statement, and you are against the text rather than with the text and remember the response. Critical reading is more of describing, interpreting, and evaluating how the text works rather than just a simple summary.
Alright, let's try one example. Nowadays, people imagine of traveling to another planet. We knew about the history of the first moon landing. Try to read this text. I know this information is not new to you. You may stop this video if you want to. With these, after reading the text, you may ask common questions like who first walked on the moon? What were the first words spoken at the moon? When was the first moon landing? And where did the astronaut come from? You read this and if you trust the author, to accept it.
Your goal is to learn the facts, not to question them. However, as you learn more, you might learn that not everyone accepts the moon landing as the truth. Some people believe it never happened, that it was filmed on a movie set or in the desert of western USA.
You may ask, what evidence do they put forward to support the claim? That's the time you cite points how you are not just finding facts, but you are trying to evaluate, judging the validity of the facts. Another example we have is Mars landing the NASA. The NASA has just announced it and people believe it because the news came from NASA. A very reliable space agency, and days ago, NASA has still to provide update to Perseverance, first since Mars landing.
But some people say that impossible. We need to confirm if from other space agency if it really true that critical reading when you do critical reading. Here are 7 critical reading switches that are helpful to you. The first one is reviewing. Learn about a text before really reading it is just a movie trailer. Shame to get an overview of the context and organization.
The second is contextualization. You read it through the lens of your own experience. And the third is questioning to understand, and remember, you need to question about the content. Each question should focus on main idea and it should be expressed in your own words. The fourth is reflecting on challenges to your beliefs and values. How do you examine based on your personal response?
And next is outlining and summarizing. You should identify the main ideas and restate them in your own words. Second to the last is evaluating an argument. You should not accept anything on face value but to recognize assertion as an argument and must be carefully evaluated.
And the last one is comparing and contrasting related reading. You need to explore likenesses and differences between texts to understand them better. The following are your guide questions in critical reading and critical evaluation points.
Here are the questions for
our next lesson.
We will talk about the types of assertion.
Now, are you ready to brush up your reasoning power more on that?
Number 2. A road accident. A truck, a man riding a horse, and a motorcycle are waiting on the road for the green light. Suddenly, the truck driver drops his cell phone on the horn. The loud noise scares the horse and it bites the motorcyclist's ear. Shocked and in pain, the man unwittingly moves his motorcycle and causes an accident. But which person actually broke the law? You have 10 seconds to figure it out. It's the motorcyclist, because he isn't wearing a helmet while driving.